It's altered that.
Oh, I'll just say, yeah.
Ready, Matt?
Oh, yep. Will the company in order, please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Great. Toma. Here. Larner. Here. Hewitt.
Here.
Wenzel. Hoover. Here. Shell.
Here.
Peaky. Here.
All right, I have the youth committee assignments here. Infrastructure will be Larner, Beaky, and Toma. Finance and admin will be Hewitt, Wenzel, Shadell, same as it was. Public safety stays the same with Hoover, Hewitt, and Wenzel. DDA will be Hewitt with Toma as a alternate. Chamber of Commerce is still myself. Planning Commission will be Shadell with an alternate of Toma. Airport will be the same, Wenzel and Beaky if he ever shows up. Fire Board will be Larner with myself as an alternate, and Task Force will be Toma with admin, or whoever we can get to fill in. And if that doesn't work, Rob, let me know. I don't know the exact times and days they need. Okay. If you're not available at a certain date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And before we move into approval of the agenda, under item 9, which is new business, items for action, I'm going to pull C off there. And we only have one applicant. If anybody knows anybody that's interested in filling in the now vacant planning commission seat, just get the app in before our next meeting. And we'll make a decision then. With that, we will move into approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion's been made and supported to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public statement regarding current agenda items only. Okay. Consent agenda. We'll need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
Motion has been made and supported to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Matt?
Yeah.
You got it in the minutes?
Oh.
He's got me down as getting a generator. And it should be what I can't do.
Should be a
Oh,
correction on the minutes.
did you get that?
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Oh, you're not buying the generator?
No, I didn't get it delivered in mine, so. But I thank you guys for approving it for me.
Alright, moving on into new business, items for action, Candle Walk street closure request. Amanda is not here. So we have the streets.
I have a copy of it, you want?
There we go. So it'll be, nope, that's fireworks. Pine Street between North Saginaw and North Front, Canal between 57 and North Washington, and North Front, Brady Street between 57 and North Saginaw Street. I'll need a motion to approve those closures. That's for the carriage ride.
I make a motion to approve, the street closures for the Candle Walk.
Support.
Motion has been made and supported to approve the requested street closures for the Candle Walk. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the fireworks authorization. There's a map. You guys aren't aware, we own that chunk of property across the bridge over here, and that's where they're going to plan to shoot them off. They did talk to the fire chief, and he is okay with it. So they just need our approval.
I make a motion to approve the, property for the fireworks for the Candle Walk.
Motion has been made and supported to approve the fireworks for the Candle Walk. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? committee reports, infrastructure.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the people in Chesney who approved the street millage. And we should be setting up a meeting pretty soon to get that up started.
I think we'll have the best roads we've had in the last
20 years.
50 years,
Yeah.
probably,
As I say,
longer than I've been alive. Anything else, Bill?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Finance and admin,
no meeting.
public safety did not meet, EDA.
They met just a couple weeks ago. I was not there, I'm sorry, I was sick. Their agenda hadn't changed much, really. They're still working on lights and the bicycle parking. And next meeting is for 15 minutes.
Well, now they've got, till next year, to worry about bicycles. Chamber,
So, with DDA, we took the flags down today off the boulevard, American flags. And then there was some brackets that were broken in there, and I know,
There'd been, discussion about the brackets
well,
previously.
he did order some,
Okay.
and I know he's got some, he ordered some extra there, so.
What about flags? We need to get another one.
We don't order them till next year.
yeah, I think they'll break every year, we lose a couple.
Yeah.
Chamber met, they approved the expenditure to put in the ice rink, which will go right up here.
And I already talked to Scott and we will pull up for him.
Nice, perfect.
Great.
We're gonna work on, we need lights up here for security anyway, so we're working on getting quotes to install some parking lights that will have, lights on both sides to light parking lot and, ice rink. Most likely they'll be solar, so we don't have to power run. That was the main part, they're still working on their, for their dinner in January. More to come on that.
Is there a way we can get a package deal by getting the alleyway or the parking lot behind the Farlands lit at the same time?
Those are just replacing the existing bulbs.
Okay.
Garbage.
Gotcha.
These ones, there's no power there, so that's why. But if we do need them, maybe. And being they're solar, you can stick them wherever you want.
No, I was just thinking if they were gonna be in town or if it was gonna be something that we could take advantage of as far as mobilization.
Oh, it'll be a local contract, I'm sure. Probably.
Yeah.
Planning,
No meeting.
airport, Keith's not here. John, did you go? I'm assuming they didn't meet.
They were supposed to meet yesterday and Phil didn't tell me he was off, so.
Okay.
He didn't tell me, he intended to be 8 to 1 or both, but again, he didn't tell me to show up, so.
Are we done with that last meeting will be next month?
This was the last one.
Well, you missed out on the Christmas dinner or the?
No. Well, yeah, that I did. Their Christmas dinner will be second or fourth week of January.
Oh, January?
Yeah, they have theirs in January.
Fire board?
3 runs since the last time, bringing a total of 166. The driver's training went good last weekend. The roof, they fired the subcontractor because they ordered the wrong metal, and it was really the wrong metal. They got a new subcontractor out of Howell, it's A-N-E. They just did a permanent fixture until we get the other metal right now for that section that he took off. It's supposed to be within the next couple of weeks that they get this metal in.
So they sending that metal back?
I haven't heard anymore. They had bids on it. They was trying to get over $20,000 for it. But there had to be somebody that's special for that type of metal.
Right.
So, at the fire board meeting last Wednesday, we gave Scott approval to buy 4 new tires for the utility truck from Mel and Ford. One of the gas meters that does gas reading for different gases. The other one had 2 sensors that went out, and each sensor was $300 and some. And the new meter was only $889, so we told him to get the new meter, so he's getting that. During the windstorm last Saturday,
Crazy.
2 trees went down in front of the fire department's entrance. So we had to call Hedrick Excavation in to remove them and that, and they put dirt in there and redone it for us. And then Chesaning Fire Department was picked out of a bunch of fire departments around the area. The people that did like MVS training and up there and that, and there was one guy from, I think Scott from Thomas Township, had 25 years up there, and another guy had 27 years up there. He cannot be in this testing. It's going to be done for 2 years. It's on PFAS, on the body and drinking water. So out there, they're going to do blood samples off the firemen, questionnaires they got to fill out, and they're going to do water samples for 2 years out there.
The MBS, you said?
No, this is for us. They don't want nobody connected with that PFAS from up in that area. They want it outside to make sure that nobody down in this area got anything on.
Okay.
Because we did use PFAS at one time.
Right.
So,
I think most fire departments did.
yeah. And in fact, there's a bunch of them that still got it stored that they're waiting for the state to pick up. So, and then this week we had to send 10 air bottles in for testing. It was that time of year. So, and then next meeting is December 14th at 6 o'clock.
Great. Task force, well, she's not here anymore, so. Alright, do we have anybody signed up?
Anybody sign up? Sit down.
Public statement, limited to 2 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Terry and Francis Lucas?
This is regarding, marijuana, should I wait for them?
No, if you got a question, I know.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that, the odor in Waits and very strong now, and it's been for numerous weeks. Today was a real bad day too. And when the temporary hoop houses were discussed and allowed at the August 23rd planning commission meeting and the September 6th council meeting, it was stated that the exhaust air would be filtered, and it doesn't appear to be, just based off of the odor. Also, it was stated that, processing would take 2, possibly 4 weeks for them to get caught up, and it's been much longer than that already. I was wondering if the ordinance enforcement officer is monitoring the situation, and if we could get a report on it.
Yeah, I'll have him go out and check it. I believe he was gonna go out and check for those carbon filters already, I just haven't heard if he did or not.
Okay. And then the fence covering, the opening I talked about last meeting, that actually got closed off after a few days, but then the other side of the aesthetic pleasing hill was opened up the same way, which is very strange. It's closed back up now, but over the last couple weeks, different spots have been open. They open like lower levels for 2 or 4 panels, and then it goes back down, and then upper levels come down.
Like they pick it up and fasten it there?
It looks like it's fastened when you're doing it, and the one place it looked like there was actually a pile of rocks or something there. So it's odd. They're doing something definitely. And then there was the upper level that's drooping, like the wind maybe touches it, but
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
they need to fix that. And then still, I know Danielle has brought it up, but they still have not covered that back fence area at all. I'm just curious if the board is gonna actually do anything about that with them.
That's what we're gonna be getting into soon. Hopefully, next meeting, we're gonna start really getting into these things again now that we've got our new board.
Our first step is to send the compliance officer.
Well, yeah, I wanna make sure those filters are installed that they promised to put in. And see what's left on the
One other
process.
thing, I guess what I recalled from the print that they turned in, that there was gonna be 4 hoop houses near the front fence, 2 along the fence and then 2 behind it. I only see 2 in the front area, but then there's 1 off on the other side of the building that did not exist previously. I don't see 4 and I don't see that 1 in the correct spot.
Okay.
So I think that's something that they're not even, it doesn't appear like they're using what they proposed.
Alright, I'll get Tommy out there to check on it. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Brooks?
Nothing.
moving on into council member statements. Anybody have a statement they would like to make?
Just like to thank everybody that voted and hope everything goes good this year. Since all the villages passed, I hope it does. So,
Yep.
we're starting on a good track.
Anybody else?
Tree lighting tomorrow
Oh,
at
yeah,
5:30, right?
6:30. Is it 5:30? Oh, you got paperwork there.
The cookies and cocoa are starting at
5:30.
5:30, 6 o'clock.
At 5:30?
Yeah,
And the lighting at 6.
6. Okay, I know it's 6 something.
And seasonable weather.
Yes. Snow.
I may not be there. I have a nephew's birthday party.
I'll be here. Nothing in it.
Anybody else?
I just like to say thank you for being reelected and allow me to continue to help make Chesapeake community prosper.
Anybody?
I want to thank everybody for voting. Allowing me to represent them. And I'm for it. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Alright, we have no village staff reports. Moving on into the work session for marijuana ordinances. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss?
Yeah. It was brought up earlier about the motorhome out there. Is this guy living in there? Is it an office or what?
I couldn't tell you.
I thought when they built these places, they're supposed to have stuff for like restrooms for their people and everything else. And security office for running the security.
Yes, they are.
So what is this mobile home out there for? That's what I wanna know, because when I went past there, the door was open and the driver's seat was all covered up and everything else. So something's going on out there.
Probably someone living in it. I'll have time to go check it out. Which actually brings up another good point. People have asked that we review our blight ordinances around motorhomes, campers, cars. We're gonna get into that this winter. Mostly junk campers, hanging out in people's backyards, front yards, not, stored properly. Which we probably won't cover this, because I'm sure that's plated, but if it's not, then that's a problem. But we also don't need people living in campers. We don't specifically say you can't.
Does the ordinance officer have a specific process that he follows? So you're gonna ask him to check into these things. So what's the flow chart of, so he's gonna go out?
For the marijuana stuff, like Tom's gonna specifically check those filters, make sure they're hooked up, operating the way they're supposed to, check the smell. And then,
Aren't they supposed to be hooked up before anything's put in there?
yeah, they're supposed to be, but that's, you trust but verify, and we gotta go check it out.
And if he finds a violation, what's the next?
Then he'll bring it back to us, and we can figure out what we wanna do with it. Cause they did promise they would hook those up, so if they're not running them, that's a problem, and that's gonna go in their file. And then come license renegotiation time, it's not gonna look great.
I mean, they know what ordinances are and everything else.
Right.
When they get the license and then it's,
I'd like to know what time, just because I was the one that put the stipulations on there.
Yeah.
Ask them a few questions.
Alright,
Just if it's not up to par.
I'll have them,
Just because I'm curious, you can't ask for something, then promise to do it, and then not do it.
not do it, right. Not gonna go well.
No, because it was a long discussion, there was a lot of questions that were asked, a lot of questions that were answered. And they claimed that everything that they were going to do was, they could do it, would be no problem. And I don't expect the charcoal filters to take care of the smell, that's not gonna take care of all of the smell. It'll knock it down. So if there's a misconception that the filters will remove the smell completely, that is a misconception. It will not remove the smell completely, it'll just help filter it to reduce it.
It's a lot better than no filter.
Yes.
But it's-
I went by there the other day, and I don't think they're using it yet. Because it looked like the door, or the sides are wide open.
The hoop houses?
Yeah. It does.
Do you guys just drive down Eden Way? Is that what you guys do?
No, just go down, whatever, Main Street
Main
there,
Street?
go down, you can see right through the fence.
Gotcha.
And it looked like, I mean, some parts you can see in there, but the other parts you can't, but I just happened to look over there, and it looked like the half of the loop house was up, but it was, I don't know if they're even using it right now, so I don't know.
That's what I seen when I went by.
Yeah.
And then we don't go in either, because we were told we were not supposed to, but just driving by, it looks like the, what do you call it, vinyl or whatever there, have it rolled up at the top on the end.
May not
So
even be in
it's like
use.
totally.
Oh, may not.
It may not be, so.
Okay. On it too, the one you can only just sort of see the top of it and the shadow of it, the location of it through the fence screen, you can see through the screen. But I can't see the details of that house, but you know it's a hoop house.
Okay. So if they're not using those, then they probably still have product, well, gosh, I don't wonder if they have product out still. I know as of last week, I believe the very end had like 4,000 plants still they were trying to remove. I don't know if that's still the case.
A little late.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still the case, but if the hoop houses are not in use, then everything of their product could possibly still be in the barn that doesn't have the filtration at all.
Which is.
Unless they did what they were hoping to do with being able to process the wet product, if they got a hold of that company.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was what they were hoping to do. They were looking and hoping to sign a contract to be able to process their product wet, which means that it would eliminate the dry time completely. There wouldn't be any.
And if they're still harvesting, that would be why the odor potentially is up and down again.
Sure. And also if it's drying, because it's consolidated into one area, which is going to make it stronger. I've been over that way a lot in the last few days. I smelled a small amount yesterday, but nothing major.
Is it like lime grapes where it's stronger after it freezes?
I have no idea.
It was major today.
Was it? They could have been in a hurry pulling stuff off today.
Probably, yeah, it's gonna smell.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what day it was last week that I was over there. It must have been Wednesday. And found out that they had 4,000 plants still on the end property.
I don't know how to get a hold of you. Do you want to do tours of all the facilities too? I'd love to.
I've never even been
I'll
over
have Tom reach out to you guys. So you guys
No,
can set
never
up
been
a
over
time.
there. I've only toured Highlight.
I did 6 labs and one other one out there when we did the fire department.
Troy, were you there when Troy took that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Tommy Simpson has got their plant in Muskegon.
I think so.
Tommy offered to the council to go to the Muskegon for the parent merger of Highlight.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a council member interested, apparently it's a fairly large or very large operation. But he said he could arrange us to go to the parent operation.
Cool.
On that road out there, Eden Way, if I remember right, we paid for the infrastructure of the water and on sewer and all that, which they gave the money back to us.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The road, they built the road themselves,
Right.
but there's no, I didn't see no private sign up there. Is there a private sign up there?
Yeah, there should be.
So there should be a big enough one that,
I think it's on the fence coming into town.
there should be a post out there too.
It's on the
right
south
there.
fence.
So I get the front driveway, and the next time I see those out there, it's right drive.
But I usually don't go out that way that much, but unless I go out to DPW. I haven't been out there for a while and talked to see how the things are going out there. But Rod did brought up one thing too. We gotta ask Rod Cancun, I mean, that, if he does testing at the lift site there, see how much stuff is going in that lift site into the DPW, the wastewater.
The wastewater, what do you mean stuff? Solids?
Just anything that coming off there and see what is in there so we know what's going into our filter system. Because that lift station is the main point right there,
Right.
before it goes into the lift station.
So you're
So-
talking solids or like a chemical?
Take the chemical tests and everything. Make sure what's going in there in our system out there. Because that's one thing that was supposed to be done too. Was the testing of that. I know Scott and Brendan's doing a good job out there checking on the part on the fire department, what chemicals they're using and everything else, so.
Well, hopefully you can get it in before, pipes start bursting, which will be happening soon enough.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I had a question, with Highlight doing those stationary, the stationary odor monitors, are those up and running?
They are all, I haven't heard any more, like, since that merger started
I know
happening.
they were waiting on it, last time I thought they were waiting for a part or
That's
something
what I
too.
thought too, and I haven't heard any more
But
about it.
they're not, you haven't heard if they're up yet or not?
No, I haven't. I am assuming that once that merger started, everything dropped off the radar.
They've had some major changes in their, management too. But we've gotta be a squeaky wheel on that. We can't keep just saying, yep, last thing I heard was, like, we've gotta be a squeaky wheel. Tommy has to be a squeaky wheel. Every month, what's the update on this? What's the update on this? I mean, if he's touring these places and making sure, they're doing what they need to be doing, he also needs to be a squeaky wheel, and these are things that we've asked for. And if he's going to represent, the village in this area, then he needs to ask more questions when there's things that we're expecting them to do.
I got one more thing too. About a year and a half ago, some of the citizens put together, suggestions and we gave it to the council, previous council and the planning commission. And I don't know who's working on the filtration, right now, what committee is, a person, I don't know. Last time I knew you were. I thought that's what you said you were working on, filtrations, or no?
No, I
Is
don't
there
think
a
there was
committee
anybody
right now
designated
that's-
to do filtration.
Is there a committee right now working on anything with filtrations for the marijuana facilities?
No, it's all, the whole council.
With the whole council? Well, we came up with a suggestion that was implemented in, Quincy and, Wayland. And if I could read the ordinance to you if you'd like to, or tonight, and, see what you guys think of it. The building must be equipped with an activated air scrubbing or carbon filtration system for the odor control to ensure the air is leaving the building through an exhaust vent first, passing through the activated carbon filter and air scrubbing system. The filtration system must consist of one or two more fans activated. Carbon filters are be capable of scrubbing the air prior to leaving any building. At a minimum, the fans must be sized per cubic feet per minute, equivalent to the volume of the building. Length multiplied by width multiplied by height, divided by 3. The filter should be rated for the applicable CFM. The air scrubbing and filtration system must be maintained in working order and must be used at all times. The filters must be changed per manufacturer's recommendation to ensure electrical performance. Negative air pressure must be maintained inside the building. Doors and windows must remain closed except for the minimum time length needed to allow people to enter, and exit the building. An alternative odor control system is permitted if the special use applicant submits a report by a mechanical engineer licensed in the state of Michigan, sufficiently demonstrating the alternative system that will eliminate odor as well as better than the air scrubbing or carbon filtration system otherwise required. I didn't know if there was a committee right now working on this.
That is on our list, and especially the negative pressure thing, it may or may not be the carbon filter, that's what we gotta find out, but
I thought that they had that over there at Henry.
they do, they have.
And I thought that they had worked on the negative pressure. I thought that their entrances that they were using were only negative pressure entrances.
Yes, but all buildings, like we were talking about some of the buildings on Eden Way that do not have filtration that they're processing. Any building that's processing in should have, has to at some point. That's what we gotta get codified. If you could send it out to us again, I'd appreciate it. Like the whole council.
All right.
But that's definitely on our list.
Okay. All right.
I believe any building where they process or dry or, work with
be negative pressure and air handled. So I believe we did talk about that as well.
So what buildings are there's only one facility right now filtered, and that would be High Life?
I don't know about the other ones. I know High Life is, they put a lot.
Reinberger's isn't.
And no,
Not right now.
Reinberger's isn't, and I know you've talked to them about it.
Yeah.
But we don't require it, so we're obviously not gonna do it until we make them. And, Six Labs, I believe, is filtered also.
You know which type of
I
filter?
do not
they're
know
on?
which type they have.
I can ask Brandon, he might.
But if you go on the tour, you can
Yeah.
absolutely ask him. For sure.
Yeah, best thing to do with those tours is to make a list of all of the questions that you have, and usually they're pretty knowledgeable and they can answer them all. I mean, in my experience with High Life, they were.
Yeah, they're good. Six Labs is pretty good too. Some of the other ones.
They haven't been over there.
Much.
That's all I got.
Okay. Anybody else? Item number 15.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion's
Oh,
been made,
okay.
motion's been made, support to adjourn. All those in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Pause for.
Watch out for deer.
Yeah.
Right?
Easiest decision